Hey guys, welcome back to the Confirmant RM YouTube channel. Getting ourselves back into another technicals video here, looking at Bitcoin and everything else. Happy Monday. Things are looking interesting. You know, MicroStrategy is saying stuff about how they now hold the most Bitcoin in the world. You know, no big deal. You know, but just a lot of news today, just on Bitcoin flying up there, and I think earlier today getting up there to around that $65,000 mark, just about. Yep, just about 65,000. If we zoom ourselves into Bitcoin right now, we can actually see, because we were talking about this parallel channel. You know, we're using the bodies here to the tops over here. Obviously had a little bit of a poke out, but we're getting sandwiched back from the one back test over here. But came back down to the bottom of the trend, and now at the top of it, which was exactly at that 65.8, and getting pushed back, getting held back by that 50-day moving average. But at least we can see, if we look really closely, if I can zoom in and you can show you guys, we're above the 50, or sorry, the 20-day moving average is right there, and the 50-day moving average. So we're getting wedged between them. So you're going to have something kind of interesting happening in the next couple days. But we're going to get ourselves out to 4 hour. The 4 hour is showing everything's bullish. We had a cross here on the 4 hour, the 20 and 50. And we also got a 20 and 100-day moving average on as well. But where's our 200-day moving average? The better question. It's all the way up here. And you can see here on the 4 hour, it's playing the same sort of thing that it did with the 1 day, getting pushed back and not having a good time. So we're going to wind up having a compression here. Even on the 4 hour at the same spot, we can do this, give ourselves a kind of plateau like that, and you can see that it'll come out to around Thursday. If we really want to hold this trend, we're going to bounce around in here until Thursday, just like that. And then what we can see ourselves do is grab ourselves a trend line, the width of this channel. We can see at least a move up there to around 66, but we can even look at a further move, which would be our push upwards right here, would be around, the most you'd be on seeing is around that 67. So $66,000 to $67,000 would be in the works this week if we were able to see ourselves hold this and kind of what would you say, work our way back. So obviously we're following through right now in the RSI, showing ourselves some weakness right around that 60 mark. That makes sense. But we came all the way down here, down to the 23. So it's about time. Rejection, come back down, find support, and then kind of make our way back up. But we'll go back here to that 1 day mark, just like that. And we're going to see the same sort of thing. It's just holding ourselves right here in between the 20-day and the 50-day moving averages. If we wind up not, we're going to wind up falling all the way back down here to 60. Like that's the easiest way to put it. 60, and $100 just about, which will be another larger fall. But catching ourselves, I'm sure, about 5%. Catching ourselves in the middle of the trend, sure, wicking a little bit down below, catching ourselves on a 100-day moving average. But if we're going to want to keep this momentum and keep ourselves up here, because we tried wicking to the top of the channel, and we would want to compress and see that sort of move, we'd get ourselves out of here. You'd want to see a nice conviction, a back test on top of 65. I'm sure what we'd wind up seeing is getting ourselves up here to that 67, 69,000, coming back down for a back test, and then flying out. That's all we would wind up really wanting to see. But regardless, getting over here to XRP, here we are. If we were really to zoom in, I mean, nothing's really changed. I mean, we got up to the top of the region. We were always talking about this 54.5, and this ceiling that we have over here around that 57, just right about 57, and it's like a 56.5 ceiling. That doesn't really matter, but a 57 and a 54. So what do we do, guys? Try getting back up after this, hitting exactly 57, falling back down, finding support right there around that 50. And then what do? Find support around that 52, fly up to 57, and get caught beneath 54 again. So what we could wind up seeing if we don't wind up actually being able to break through this is just XRP waddle around, unfortunately, for the rest of the month. That's what it literally looks like. We could just wind up going wee, whoop, and then we could see that. But then we'd have this right here. Grab that, and you'd see XRP back up there retesting 69 cents by the end of this month. And if we're actually able to break through that, you guys know we have our targets up there in the 90 cents to $1.12 region. So it's not necessarily bad. A slow, gradual move here on the daily is what we want to see. We got some volume coming back, the highest buy volume that we've seen since April 22nd. So good to see, nonetheless, guys. But if we're going to wind up kind of seeing ourselves fly up there and do something more lucrative, something that's just more in the short term, you can see holding on top of the 20-day moving average. Our first time really above it since our fall here on April 12th. See that? First time above it. So now we're actually really holding with a nice green candle above it. So, and then also getting ourselves pushed underneath that 200-day moving average. So realistically, get knocked back by 200, getting wedged by the 20-day here. We're going to wind up consolidating in between. It looks like if you were really to do something more like this, you would see a gradual move, which would be nice, and then you get that push upwards through it, and you get that nice golden cross, and then you'd see XRP fly to the upside. That'd be about what we would see. Go over here to the 4 hour, get ourselves more of an idea. What's going on in the 4 hour? Not super overbought. I mean, when we are overbought, we're hitting on that 70. So actually it would make sense if we lost it right now and came back down to that 53, 52 mark. But if we are to continue, we'd want to see ourselves, I think we would wind up sitting here for a little bit, kind of consolidating a little bit more on top of this 54.8 just about, and then get that more of a push because we can get up there to 90 on the RSI. So realistically, if XRP really had that same sort of angst and happy, crazy movement, we would probably see that. But we have ourselves a nice kind of triangle here. Grab ourselves. Let me see. So from our breakout here. So it makes sense where we are. Okay. But if we're going to really just hone in and dive and see what XRP would need to do in order to see ourselves really fly to the upside. We have the 4 hour. Realistically, it's keeping ourselves above on the 4, but we're kind of at that spot. If you were to draw a trend line right here, if we did a horizontal, right, guys, we did a horizontal line and put ourselves on the RSI. I mean, we're at the level where we'd want to push back. Same time we hit this same exact spot last time, we wound up losing it and then falling downward. So you could have a repeat of that, but what could wind up happening is it could be something more sort of like, as we see that we have this W pattern forming. We could have a double bottom like that W pattern, but what we could wind up seeing too is the same sort of like this. You see how we're gonna steadily do this. It could be something more like that because it's going to mimic the same sort of pattern that we're having in here. You see like that. So we wind up getting that same sort of, even if we were to mirror that, right? So if we were to grab a bars pattern and we were to mimic that for us and really give an idea of what that time frame would be and what it would look like. Let's see if I have that over here. Give me 1 second, ladies and gentlemen. Bars pattern, where are you? I always misplace it. 1 second, guys. Found it. So you can see the same sort of thing. Grab it from here to the peak here. We can grab that same sort of thing, and we can say that it'll be like this. I can consolidate it a little bit too, like this. You could say something more like that, but you can see the same sort of time frame. It'd be that same sort of thing, and then maybe even get like, it doesn't have to absolutely reach the apex, maybe just something sort of like that, and then kind of consolidates here at the end and then pushes upwards. But that I'm willing to bet that that's what's going to wind up happening. I'm going to think that we're going to wind up losing the support here again on XRP, coming back down to around the mid-range here, or even like wicking down, doing that same sort of thing where we just kind of hang out here, wick down, and then kind of do this thing and then push upwards and then kind of get to this apex and kind of hold underneath this 54 and then just all of a sudden explode, because you guys know that's just how XRP is. But let's keep ourselves and our head on a swivel. I think this is what we would possibly wind up seeing with XRP. But crazy to see, right, guys? So we got Bitcoin doing this, holding this parallel channel, which is great because this is a falling parallel channel out of an uptrend. So this would mean continuation. And you see what you see what those numbers bring. You see around that $74,000 to $85,000. Obviously, I'm not going to be giving outlandish claims, but that could be something that's on the radar. But I hope you guys are having a good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are. Appreciate every single one of you. Hope you're having a great Monday, and I'll see you guys on the next one.